This is the Motorola FONE F3, a very low cost phone. It retails for about £25 or €40, SIM free. If you get it prepay, you'll probably find it's a little bit cheaper. As you can see, it's a fairly typical Motorola design. It's very slim. It comes with a very flat keypad. Let's power the F3 on and you'll see the phone's most unusual feature. This monochrome display is quite unlike any other phone on the market. It's not an LCD display, it's made from a technology called electronic paper. It is in fact incredibly sophisticated, but it gives it a very simple looking display which takes hardly any power when it's in use. In direct sunlight it's incredibly easy to use. In the dark, just like a piece of paper, it's much harder. There is a backlight which works on the side, but if you're used to how an LCD display works, you might be a little bit surprised by the display on the phone F3. The menu system is very simple. There's a menu key. We have it set up for voice prompting.
Read messages. Call history. Change ringtone. Set alarm. Change time.
Those pretty much are all the functions on the phone F3. Let's have a look at how it displays text.
Read messages.
One thing that you'll notice is that all text displays on the phone F3 are very, very large. This is because of the simple way the display is set up. It makes it very easy to read, but you may find that lettering this large is a little bit annoying. The phone F3 actually only sends messages in lowercase. That's not going to be a big problem for most people. And although it displays them in mixed case, they are always in the same case. It does have a number of ringtones that you can use on it.
Read call history. Change ringtone.
The ringtones themselves are quite loud. The phone F3 also has a speakerphone function and it vibrates. We mentioned the design earlier, and when you look very closely you'll find that there are hardly any openings in the phone F3 at all. The only major hole in it is a hole in the side here which is designed for putting either the headphones or the charger in. This should mean that the phone F3 is going to be reasonably resistant to dust and the occasional bit of water. It's not a waterproof phone. They do exist in places like Japan, but you can probably safely take it outdoors without wondering if it's going to survive a little bit of dampness. We did mention the display earlier. This display, when it's in a static mode like this, actually takes no power whatsoever, and we can demonstrate this by taking the battery out. If you try this with a standard mobile phone, you would expect to see the screen gone completely dead. But turn it over and you see that the display is still in place. And that really just demonstrates that keeping the display static like this won't drain the battery, and it gives the phone F3 a very impressively long battery life, considering how small and slim the overall handset is. Now, for the £25 you don't get a lot. You get the phone F3 itself, obviously you get a battery. It comes in quite a stylish box, really ideal for a gift. It's very well designed. The only other things that you'll get in it are the charger, so obviously you need one of those, and a very easy to use manual which folds out. It's a little bit like mobile phones used to be about 10 years ago in terms of usefulness, but very easy to follow. There's not going to be anything really in the phone F3 that you won't be able to cope with. Let's put the battery back in. Now, we think as a mobile handset this is very well designed, it's incredible value for money, and it looks very, very good. If we compare it against, say, the Nokia N73, just as an example, You can see that in design terms it's fairly compatible, but it's much thinner and much cheaper. You can buy probably something in the region of 4 of these for £100. So if you consider that the SIM-free price of something like the N73 is going to be £300–400, you can see that you could get basically box loads of these for the same price of this. And if all you want is a simple mobile phone, then the Phone F3 is definitely worth looking at from that regard. We actually think this is one of the most impressively designed phones that we've seen to date, and that's not because it's full of features, it's really the opposite. It's because Motorola have designed it to be a very simple phone and a very inexpensive phone, and they've done that very well. Using the technology of electronic paper in this display, which is a first, has most likely cost Motorola millions and millions of dollars to develop, but we do hope to see that in other displays soon, and maybe one day they'll be able to give us a colour display as well as a monochrome display. We don't think that you can really beat the Phone F3 in terms of value for money, and although we did get this one in just for the review, we suspect this is a phone we're going to keep hold of in the future. You can read more about the Motorola Phone F3 along with some unboxing pictures and some high resolution photographs if you visit our site Mobile Gazette at www.mobilegazette.com.